kill some vampires.
The world's toughest slayer.
He's thirsty.
Must stop the world's oldest master.
Hello, Jack. We were set up. He knew my name.
From leading his army.
He's near.
Into daylight.
You can't kill me. You're looking for something. Give me the cross. This cross.
James Woods, John Carpenter's Vampires, rated R, opens everywhere tomorrow.
The blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
You will suffer an eternity for this.
Nothing like a little head, eh, Padre?
I don't know, guys. Can't get too far ahead.
I knew you were going to open with that joke.
Somebody was going to make the joke one way or another around here.
My notes. It's in my notes.
That's right. Well, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of 0 Point Reviews. We are doing John Carpenter's Vampires from 1998. And much like From Dusk Till Dawn, it spurned 2 direct-to-video sequels, but we're not going to talk about any of those tonight because we're going to talk about probably the only good one of John Carpenter's Vampires. But the first one, Zach, did you see this one before? You have a memory you can associate with this one?
I saw this on opening night in October 30th of 1998. And by the way, I was in my uber goth phase. I mean, like, I was so goth, I would walk and plants would wither. Like with my typo negative and Cure CDs, cassette tapes in my Walkman. I saw this in the theater opening night with my friend Josh the Show Killer, who's a POS now. Anyway, and we sat in the corner and I loved this movie and we were not even intoxicated at the time. Let's see, if this is 98. So I was like, I think 15 when I saw this movie. And I had like I look like Vladik. Like, I mean, I had the leather trench coat and I had like the long, I still do, but you know, it's all in the bun, like Roman Reigns status. But I saw this in the theater, loved it. I stumbled upon it was in a Blockbuster bin for like $2.99 VHS, and it was like new, you know, it was like one of those rentals that just didn't sell. And this was a regular watch for me. I mean, and that was when I was really in my vampire phase. I mean, like, I would probably watch this movie weekly for at least about a year. I mean, I loved this movie. Granted, I only had a couple of shoeboxes full of VHSs at the time. I didn't get like my, you know, but I love this movie. Saw it in the theater. I'm going to probably give it nostalgia points that it's probably not worth rewatching it as an adult. Very different.
Oh, interesting concept there. Kevin, what about you, brother? This was Kevin's idea that we do this movie, and I've only seen it once before, and that was way back in the theaters, but we'll get to me in a minute. Kevin?
I was kind of the same way. I saw it opening night at the movie theater I was working at. So we had to preview it the Thursday before, and I was super excited about it. And man, like, it was just what the doctor ordered at the time. Like, there was so much blood and violence in it, so much cursing, so much ass whooping, so much extreme natures and whatnot, because it was the 90s, of course. Like, it was just such a thrill ride. It was hard to turn away. Like, damn, this movie was amazing. And when it hit DVD, I was like, mine.
Quick question. So you didn't have a father taking his children in, like in Starship Troopers, yelling at you after this film?
No.
You worked at a crazy theater, man.
Oh, he's got stories for days.
Yeah, the Premier Cinemas crowd was a wild bunch. They were a wild bunch.
Yeah, so we had Cinema 3, we had Cinemark, and then we had Brendan Theaters. So, and they were all way more, well, 2 of the 3 were behaved. So,
I don't have any fun stories like that. I never worked in a theater. Always wanted to.
It's worth it. I mean, the pay is shit, but it's totally worth it. You'll never be happier. Maybe working at a bowling alley, maybe, or shooting range, but otherwise, no.
Gotcha beat. I was actually the manager of Toys R Us R Zone back in the 90s. If you don't remember R Zone, that was the video game department. I was
Yeah.
19 and I was 19 and managing a store when the PS2 just dropped, Metal Gear 2 just dropped, Grand Theft Auto 3 just dropped, Final Fantasy X just dropped, Golden Sun just dropped. I was like the mecca of awesome. And I was getting paid so much money for a 19-year-old. I mean, do you know a 19 remember, take yourself back in the year 1999, 2000.
Right.
I was getting paid like $13 an hour. I was like, damn.
Back then, that's pretty top.
And I got to play all the video games because I could just open displays and bring them back when I was done playing them. And
Oh, darn.
hey, no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
Nope.
That was double minimum wage for the time, so that's awesome.
Yeah. God, I think I was getting like $7 at whatever job I was working at the time.
The saddest thing is that we had a movie theater right next door, and I always wanted to go there, and it was a pay cut, but I was like, I don't care. I really want to do anything in movies. And so I envied even the ushers like you or, the ticket takers. I was like, I want to work in the movies somehow.
Yeah, the worst thing about it was having to work concessions, and even that wasn't so horrible. Like, it was only bad when Titanic was running because that was sold out for 3 months straight, and it was a pain in the ass.
Dude, don't get me started. I lost my virginity to that movie, by the way, in the theater.
Cool.
If you guys ever want to cover that movie, I got a story. Nicole Fields, shout out.
No doxing allowed here. No, it's kidding.
She said it's okay. All right, she did. She gave me permission. I have it in one of my journals.
Hey, at least somebody got on the door. Just saying.
Well, she definitely hit the fan, if you know what I mean.
Boom, Zach. Well, as far as I go with this movie, I did see this. I don't think I saw it opening night. I think I saw it a couple days later, but it was basically like opening weekend for me. So somewhere around there. And I went in, I'm like, hey, this should be pretty fun. I like these kind of movies. I'm pretty game. And I watched it, and when I walked out, I'm like, wow, John, you didn't really stick the landing with this one. And I started to feel, I think John Carpenter is starting to lose it here. And then Ghost of Mars came out, and I had to say, well, time to take somebody out behind the shed and be like, sorry, buddy. But ultimately, it's just some of the movies he was doing around this era. I feel like it started with vampires. However, and for the longest time, I always thought this movie was not very good from the first time I saw it to, for the first time since then, my 50-cent DVD from a Goodwill in the last 2 months. I watched it and I'm thinking, I don't think I gave this movie an honest chance back then. And I don't know why, because I was all about John Carpenter when this movie came out. Because he just escaped from LA. Loved that movie. And then we go to this one, and it's like, oh yeah, we're getting back to John Carpenter badassery. And no, but I'll say this before we get to the rest of the review of this. My tune has changed on this movie. Just saying.
Ghost of Mars was the Ice Cube starring. Okay, and that was actually John Carpenter.
Yep.
Okay, I must have deleted that crap out of my memory.
Good man.
I didn't see it because I had, remember I was talking about the volcano effect. Yep. I confused that movie with Pitch Black because they came out, I think, the same year.
99.
I think they were both 99 or 2000. They were like
something
within
like that, yeah.
They were within the same year, I swear to you. But anyway,
March 2001.
Okay. So maybe but whatever. I confused Ice Cube with Vin Diesel. I don't know how one does that, but I did. And I never saw Ghost of Mars, and I did love Pitch Black. I hated, hated Riddick and Triple X, and except for the fact that he has Malcor's Dungeons and Dragons character tattooed over his chest. But anyway, no, I really actually, after this, I fell off of Carpenter. I didn't watch anything after Vampires. And I was such a fan of, the Michael Myers character and in how it involved into pro wrestling, whether it be Kane, Undertaker, and also everything else he did with The Thing and They Live and etc. That him putting his name on the front actually, I think, sold this for me. If it was just called Vampires, I probably wouldn't have seen it. But if it's called John Carpenter's Vampires, it's like, what do I got to lose?
Well,
Yeah.
there is name value to John Carpenter even today. Like, a lot of us can look past some of his misses at the tail end of his filmmaking career, and this is one of the last like big ones he did, next to like Ghost of Mars, and then it was like 2010s ish when he did The Ward, but he didn't write that one; he just directed it. But you know, this is basically one of his last big swings, and you know, he's a gamer, he's a composer. Those are the things he absolutely loves doing. They somehow got him to agree to be scoring the new Blumhouse Halloween films, and he was like, all right, I'll work with you on that. That's about the extent of it. Gave him the scripts. He'd be like, that's what you're doing? Okay. Didn't really give him too many notes or anything. He was just like, you're going to do what you're going to do. Whatever. But Dead Space. He's a huge hardcore Dead Space gamer. And he's been saying for years he'd love to do the movie.
I can't wait.
If he was like, that would be the crushing swing. Like, bro, go out with a grand slam. I think he would come back. And I think he would nail it. I absolutely have no doubt he would.
Can you imagine his soundtrack for that as well? Just
that alone.
Right? With like, because he would use pipes and bells and droppings of metal as beats. Like I could it would be so great. Hey Rose.
What's up, Rose?
Shit, I just got thrown. But I was gonna say I think this was the last movie from my notes. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. That he actually had full dominion over doing all the audio for. Audio, not fully, but music.
Ghost of Mars is the last one.
Was it?
See, my bad. I brought it on my memory. See,
no, that's okay. I would rather feel like this was his last big one than Ghost of Mars. So you did the right thing.
Should I actually just bite the bullet and watch Ghost of Mars and just do a solo drunk review, like where I have a bottle of whiskey and just go, don't watch this movie, here's why.
There's not enough booze to make that movie make any sense.
I don't know. Have you guys seen the Troma movie Scream Baby Scream? It was one of my early reviews, and it is the worst movie I've ever seen, ever. And it was before Troma was Troma, but it was the first movie ever.
Oh, that one.
It's free on YouTube.
But I know of it. Okay.
It's free on YouTube with ads. You know how I like to throw that out. And I did review it, and it is so bad that I stopped what I was doing at 3 a.m. after watching it, and I was like, I have to review this movie. It's so terrible.
Oh, geez.
Down. I'm all about bad movies, so. But talking about reviewing a movie, let's go ahead and get into the good, the bad, and let's judge this movie. Kevin, let's start with you, brother.
The good. Starting off with the good for me, we were just talking about it. The soundtrack is amazing for this movie.
Very good.
This might be my favorite John Carpenter score.
Well, he honestly uses elements from some of his other movies, but not so much that it doesn't feel unique in and of itself.
Right. But that slide guitar is a fucking sick jam, though. I swear to God, he kicked.
I was listening to that. I'm like, I'm gonna have to go looking for the soundtrack on eBay tonight.
I bought it like the day after I saw this movie. I went to the CD outlet and went and bought it, and I'm like, fuck yes! And the song is on there. Oh, back then, yeah.
You still have it?
The CD?
Yeah,
maybe.
Might still be in a box somewhere, right?
Yeah, like I know I've got Halloween 4 and Halloween around here somewhere, but I'm not sure about vampires.
Did you guys notice that a lot of the music from this was ripped off afterward in a game called StarCraft, but it wasn't the original, it was the expansion pack. They took like literally literally means it's recorded. Oh, so I guess it is literally. Yeah. StarCraft, the expansion set, had music from this, and like the slide guitar you were just telling about, I actually have it written down. I go, dude, this is from StarCraft. In fact, there was another band from Portugal, a metal band that kind of rips off Typo Negative called Moonspell, and they actually took music from them as well and sound effects. So Yeah, it was good. If it was good enough for this movie, a video game ripped it off. And right now in South Korea, StarCraft is still the #1 game played. They even have a ESPN show dedicated to it. So soundtrack's fucking awesome. Soundtrack, I give the soundtrack 9 out of 10.
Yeah, it's pretty solid all the way through. There's no lame songs on there, and they're all compositions, so it's like they're not songs, but none
they're
of it's
themes.
Yeah,
they're themes. Like we have our Jack Crow theme. Oh, speaking of which, I have this in my notes as well. Jack Crow is actually a reoccurring character in the Fallout series. He's in Fallout 3. He's in Fallout 3. He's in front of Megaton. He's the armor salesman, and he's also in New Vegas. So Jack Crow made quite the impression on Bethesda and Obsidian.
Dang.
And also, there is a couple of there's a perk in Fallout New Vegas that's based off this. I don't have it written down, but I know it exists because I've gotten it many times, and I'm replaying the game while I listen to Sons of Shadows, of course.
as one does.
Yep. As we generally listen to our own stuff as well.
I can't stand this side of my own voice, swear. But I listen to you guys, and then I just happen to chime in every, a minute and a half or whatever.
Can I just point out for a moment with this picture that like James Woods should have this movie should have been sponsored by Just for Men. Yeah. Everybody's hair was like so dyed,
baby.
Oh man.
And a sponsorship from Ray-Bans as well while we're at it.
Yeah, that's true.
By the way, this was my first ever endeavor with James Woods. I didn't actually, I've seen him like in Casino, and he's great in Casino, but I don't really remember James Woods being like big. And he got huge during Family Guy, and then he had this resurgence, kind of like Mickey Rourke when he did The Wrestler,
Yeah.
But I don't really remember James Woods in a lot of other movies. And this is really what kind of made me go, I love this guy. And then, internet research, I figure out like, oh, he's in all these other movies. This is the first movie he really is like, I'm an action star, even though I'm 5'8" and my penis is 9 inches long.
Yep. Black from the waist down. So, but for me, it was Digstown actually for James Wood. And that was my introduction because he plays like this con man and Louis Gossett Jr.'s in it. And it's a weird old boxing movie. It's a fun watch. He basically plays a con man with a little comedy, a little bit of Heart of Gold, and trying to steamroll the real crooks in a town. It almost plays a little bit like Roadhouse, but not. But honestly, he's one of the best parts of this movie, hands down. Without James Wood in it, I don't know how much I would have liked this.
I agree with you. Vladik and James Woods and Billy Baldwin, for Christ's sake. Billy Baldwin steals the show almost. I mean, Alec be damned. Billy Baldwin actually shows every emotion, anger, hatred, kind of addiction in a way, love, lust. I mean, like he's the gambit of, the one scene, I know I'm jumping ahead here. The one scene where he gets burgers and she's tied up and like she's face down and she's nude, and he goes, I cleaned you up, blah, blah, blah. I'll snap your neck like he goes from like extreme anger to the end of the scene, totally compassionate lover. It's really weird. And he's really good in this movie. And Billy Baldwin is like, a lot of people say he's the weakest of all the Baldwins. I don't know, man. Like after watching this again, I'm like, he's really like, even the scenes where like he's got the Zippo lighter to him and stuff. I mean, Billy Baldwin kills it. Also, sorry, I'm moving ahead. Max Schell is such an asshole. Max Schell is the Cardinal in this movie.
I was gonna say he's the Cardinal, right?
Yeah, he's oh my god, I hate him. And then Tim Genuine, Guinee.
Tim Guinee.
Guinea, thank you. Well, I didn't want to say it because
I will. So if it's wrong, everybody can blame me.
We don't have Italian viewers.
Yeah. If you know what we mean.
He's awesome in this too. And also the prostitute in this movie is amazing. Star Lee, Sarah, Shirley.
Cheryl Lee.
Shirley. Let's just call her Shirley. She's
like
awesome.
Shirley.
Yeah, Shirley. Yeah, so I mean, everyone is great in this movie. Like, even Vladik is a really cool. I even wrote this down. It's a combination between the glam goth vampire mixed with Strigoi. So we have our Interview with the Vampire Lestat mixed in with our 30 Days of Night. We got our Strigoi evil vampire, but it's still got some attractiveness to it, if you will. But it's still creepy and gross. It's not like hot vampires, in the corner, like doing their stuff. It's like, no, these vampires in this movie, they tear you apart limb from limb, but they look good doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
they even had a comment at one point where basically this isn't like your Hollywood movies where everybody's like Euro trash and sexy. These are real vampires.
Back to James Woods, his comments in this are so funny. Like when he's like in the truck and he goes, "Did you get a little wood there, Padre?" And he goes, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "Mahogany, ash, teak. I was kicking your ass back there. Did you get a little, a little something?" And you got to think to yourself, are these James Woods' improv? Because I think they might be, because I don't really see John Carpenter with Roddy Piper in They Live gave him basically character freedom to say lines and, hey, maybe we'll use it. Hey, maybe we won't. And he ends up using it. Do you think James Woods had a lot of creative character freedom? Do you think he had the Hulk pass in WCW?
Maybe.
Ooh, maybe.
I think so. Cause I mean, he's got a reputation of throwing himself about and being right, or thinking that he's being right. So I could see him being like that, or wanting to put his improvs in. And if they're good, great. But looking back on that scene now, like, nobody talks that way. Why are you talking like that? Can't you just say it like, did you get a little hard when I fucking smacked you around? Like, I don't know.
Well, I would also say that might be a little bit of an example of there might have been a scene in between, because it's a hard transition from I just got done kicking your ass because you've been lying to me to, okay, now I'm going to bust your balls about beating you up. And maybe you got a little hard because like giving him some shit. Like, this character does give shit to all of his teammates, but at the same time, he seems to be going a little bipolar here with him. And while this character does seem like that at times, it's never really explicitly stated or what's really going on with him, or he's just so like wrecked over everything that's just happened that he just keeps going. The light switch just keeps going on and off for him.
I don't think he's bipolar. I think he's a sociopath. Bipolar is very different. Like, he would have way more cares for the girl if he was bipolar. I think he's more of a sociopath.
That's why I wanted to bring this up. So,
but one thing I do have to correct you guys on, because I love your guys' show. It was Capital Combat when RoboCop showed up to save Sting. Just saying. Just clearing the air there. Yes.
I remember that event, and I've seen it a few times.
1989 WCW. It was a pay-per-view in May. So there you go. It was Capital Combat. So there you are. Just wanted to clear the air there. But anyway, back to the movie. This is what happens when you listen to a show and you really appreciate it. You go, you said this, and you actually probably meant that. And anyway, there you go.
I know what I meant.
I should know, because I was there and I defeated the Patriot and stole his mask.
Cool.
I know.
Well, you sure it wasn't the Black Scorpion?
No, Black Scorpion was the wasn't Black Scorpion Vampiro?
No, that was it ultimately proved to be Ric Flair, but it was Ole Anderson doing the voice for the longest time.
Oh my God. Well, a Shockmaster away then. No, I really think though that James Woods makes this movie. He's the Clint Eastwood. He is the, and he's not even an action. Like, I mean, I think this kind of made way for the skinny action hero that later on would become, your Keanu Reeves or Jason Statham.
Or Bon Jovi. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's my life. Get the F out of here. But you know, we had our 80s like roided up dudes, and then come in the 90s, we like the Matrix kind of started with, we wanted skinny action stars. I think this really kind of nailed it home. Even though this movie wasn't popular, it made James Woods kind of like a action star to the cult community, maybe.
Well, this was his first leading role, wasn't it? Or one of his first like main leading roles.
Let's see here.
I think it might have been.
While you're looking for that, do you know the 10 rules of vampire hunting?
10 rules.
Yeah, Billy Baldwin always quotes them.
I don't know.
If Kevin gets turned into a vampire, he dead. So, dude, we're gonna be there in like 5 minutes because apparently he got some wood.
I got wood.
But anyway, there's apparently 10 rules of vampire hunting, but they only say 3 of them. It's rule number 5, find the nest, find the master. Rule number 7, you can't bury them alone. And rule 10, you cannot kill a master at night.
Right.
And they don't say, oh, and rule number 1, never let them live. So we only get 4 out of the 10 rules here. And I watched it and I actually looked online and none of the other rules are ever mentioned. So that might be a Carpenter-ism where it's like keep you guessing or whatever. But I don't know. Yeah. Rules to live by. You know what? These rules, I think, were written by the Frog Brothers from Lost.
That makes sense.
It seems like it. And actually, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say none of it is probably explained in the book. The book is absolutely awful. Like
there's a book.
I was going to ask about that, Kevin.
Yeah, man. The book was like so inspiring to me as a kid because I thought if John Steakley could get this book published, I can get anything published. And it's like, I could do this. I'm going to write my fucking book.
Oh no. How bad was it?
Very.
Oh like, man! So the movie actually is better than the book.
Yes, 10 times better than the book. Like they call him Buana, like instead of boss. All right, Buana. Oh. Like, what does that even mean? Okay, sure. And I don't even know why I remember that, but I do. Like, it's just very stuck in my head after reading it.
Hey, where does this land on your guys' favorite vampire movies? Because I have my top 10 favorite vampire movies. Because most vampire movies suck. Pardon the pun. But I put this right under. So I put this probably around number 7, right under Dusk Till Dawn, and right above Life Force. And Life Force does count as a vampire movie, and it's great.
It's alien vampire, but yeah, it's vampire.
They're energy vampire. What do you put Sleepwalkers then? Does that count? I count it as a vampire movie.
Yeah, kind of. It's Sleepwalkers.
I haven't seen that in a long time either.
Sleepwalkers is more of a Chinese vampire, where they sucked your soul, right?
Yeah, it's where the son Charles has to go out and find very pretty girls and suck their soul out and then have sex with his mother to give her the power. And then she has the power to heal him. It's a very good movie. It's one of the only good books versus movies because I hate Stephen King's writing. I'm sorry if that offends you. I've read a lot of Stephen King. The movies are better. This is the way it goes. I always say he writes great short stories and shitty novels because he gets paid by the word.
Yeah, he could spend 30 pages describing a leaf. He really can.
In the Pet Cemetery, there's like 4 pages about Gage Creed eating crayons in the sand.
Yes.
Or in the grass. And you're like,
oh yeah, that's right.
Dude, can we get to the fucking story? Like, I remember I was a big reader at a time. And I really wanted to be intellectual and cool and go like, yeah, I like the movies and the books. And I'm like, no, I just like the movies. The books suck. They're pretty you know, I mean, I remember when I anyway, long story. I'm not going to get into it.
Nah, that's okay. But yeah, Stephen King, I'm kind of iffy on him. I like some books, I like some movies better, but you know what? He was better when he was coked out of his mind. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I think we discussed
Yeah, this was last week.
this last week. Dude, tell us about the book though. I'm actually intrigued. Not that I'm going to read it, but I'm intrigued of did I miss it or is it like Ghost of Mars where I'm just like never again?
It's like Ghost of Mars, never again. Like you probably won't finish it. It's not that good. I don't even remember most of what happens in it. Like I read it in 98 just after seeing this. I was in college, so I went and picked it up like the next day. That
Yeah,
and
like,
the
let's
soundtrack.
freaking go. That's how I used to get CDs all the time. I go to the movie and either that day or the next day I'd go pick it up.
Exactly. And I started reading the book and gosh, I don't remember finishing it.
Oh man, you didn't even finish the damn book. That sucks.
Yeah, and I know I've got it around here somewhere, but it's not in a prized possession area.
We should do a sacrifice live on stream if you knew where it was. And stab it with a stake.
Stab it with a stake.
Hey, let's back to Stephen King real quick though. I remember I was talking to my this is decades ago, a score in some years. My English teacher said, if you could read Needful Things, I will give you an A. You have to finish it. It's 500 something pages and you have to write me a detailed book report. And I said, done and done. However, I'm not going to write you a book report. I'm going to do an audio review. And I gave it to her on cassette and I got that A because that book is so shit.
Okay. I'll disagree. I like the book, but the mini series that they did for TBS, which was initially the movie, but the extended cut, which was the TV cut, which is like 4 hours long, that is incredible because Max von Sydow was fantastic. And while I like that book, there's only a handful of Stephen King books I actually like adore. And that's one of them. That and like the first 3 Dark Tower books.
Okay, Dark Tower is different though, because Dark Tower is like a cool experience. It's like a Dungeons and Dragons adventure. Until it's not. Yeah, I know. But and also I know you guys were talking about the Stand remake recently on one of your podcasts, and I'm like, wait, there was a remake of the Stand?
Yeah.
And one of you were saying it was good. I think maybe it was you, Jeff. No, I think it was Kevin said it was good, and then Jeff, you were kind of
the TV miniseries with the guy from Wings, and I was like, it's okay. I don't really like it. I like the original miniseries better.
The original miniseries is infallible. It's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. Especially like one of the scenes that always sticks with me is when the guy is so pissed off, he's gritting his fist that he's bleeding from his nails. Like, oh man. And the first episode is so goddamn good. I remember when that came out, we had it, and then it was released on, I think USA or something played it, and then it was rented out everywhere, and people were just buying it up. And I'm like, I saw this movie years ago. You guys are late to the party on this one, but it is great. And actually, I'm one of the only fans of Tommyknockers. I think Tommyknockers is a great movie, and or I don't know if it was a series or a movie. I think it was
one with Tracy in it.
Yeah. I think that was good, where their teeth fall out and shit, and they're all like on crack. Yeah. Back to this movie though, The Good. Sorry, I always derail you guys. I'm sorry about that. The Good.
I was about to circle us back around, but go ahead, Zach.
The effects in this movie are fucking phenomenal.
That's where I was going to go.
The practical effects in this, the vampire effects in this are awesome. I have it written down. They're even like sometimes sexy, even though, like I said, they're gothic yet Strigoi. You know, Strigoi in like Nosferatu, gross vampires, but yet they're good dressers. The scene where Vladik is on the roof and he attacks the prostitute. I don't have her name written down here. I have it here, but I'm too lazy right now because I'm in mid conversation. Dude, he like does cunnilingus on her, but bites her, and he's like, "You will love this forever." And it's like, oh shit, this is kind of, I don't know, it moved a little down there, even now in my 40s. And Then he goes in and just slaughters everybody. The dude opens the door. The guy from Sons of Anarchy.
Yep.
He goes, "Hey, how you doing?" Like a handshake, but it goes through his chest, up through, like splits the dude in half, and then we get a slow-mo bloodbath of just Vladik just killing everybody and just grabbing guns and forcing into people's face. This movie makes Michael Myers and Jason look like pussies. I mean, honestly, until the Blumhouse Michael Myers, like where you have Halloween Kills, where it's just like, okay, that's the Terminator. This guy basically is the scariest, maybe not scariest. That's the wrong word. The most invincible little tiny person in a John Carpenter film thus, right? I mean, because with the Thing, you have like a giant monster. He's hiding. Vladik doesn't hide. Vladik comes out and he's like, I'm going to murder everybody. And I know you guys are with the Vatican and I know you guys are vampire hunters. Doesn't matter. He doesn't give a shit. He kills priests, he kills prostitutes, he kills vampire hunters, and he does it in creative ways. And then the later on, when we actually see James Wood have to clean up his mess, if you will, that scene is really great. These are all practical effects. I think there's only one CGI effect, and I think it's with fire. Because most of the vampires, when they're dragged out, because they have this unique way of killing the vampires where James Woods will shoot them with his crossbow that's made of like fiberglass and plastic, something you would get at Toys R Us. Looks like a super soaker they just modified. But anyway, they drag them out via the Jeep and they burn and they have flashbangs that come out. And those are actual real practical effects. Those aren't CGI, and I really love the effects in this movie. I thought watching it back now, and this is the second time I've seen it at theater in a long time, I was blown away. I was like, wow, these effects are kick-ass. Even the background effects of all the gore and stuff, like when you see the monks get ravaged and everything else.
Oh yeah,
really good. Really great effects on this. I can't talk about the effects enough. And the vampire makeup is great. I like the veins around it was like kind of like Lost Boys, but more, it was dark. You know when like the Lost Boys change? Well, they always have their effects, but you see those veins go from their like chin up to their faces, and it's a very I don't know, it's really stylized, very cool. Like I say, it's a mix of gothic and Strigoi, and it's not the Euro trash vampires. This is not Twilight. This is not, I mean, obviously we wouldn't be reviewing Twilight, I don't think. I mean, you guys are both married, so I assume we're not going to ever watch Twilight, but I mean, maybe for funsies one day.
Only with riff tracks
and alcohol.
Yeah.
Always.
But no, you're talking about that and the K&B guys, Nicotero and his crew from back then, before he got lost in the world of Walking Dead and everything else that he's been doing. They were the guys that did the special effects on this, and it was nice to see them working with John Carpenter. So all the practical effects were obviously top notch. My drawbacks would be like some of these dinky toys look like somebody was LARPing. But, you see the armor on a couple of guys. My big concern about some of the outfits is like, really, James, you're in freaking jeans and like a black t-shirt? Bro, I think you could be more badass with some like knee pads or guards or something.
Hold on. I think that's part of his charm. I really do. I think part of the charm is the fact that he goes, fuck it. I really think that was a very intentional decision. I have to disagree with you on that.
Yeah, I just think there could have been some tweaks made to his outfit, but they probably already had their budget spent for him, and it's like, just let him go. Just give him the leather jacket, and that kind of makes up for a little bit of it.
I will bet you money that James Wood goes, I want to wear a leather jacket and jeans and have a pistol in my pants, and that's my costume, and fuck off. I guarantee you
I ain't blowing my cock off.
I guarantee you. Sorry, Kevin, go ahead.
I got into way too much cocaine last night, and I'm not taking these glasses off tomorrow.
Yeah.
But is that you or is that James?
James.
Because I would believe either.
No, like James, like he did, like there's so many scenes that he's got his glasses on where you're just kind of like, you'd take your glasses off.
There is times he walks in a room without his glasses and then puts them on.
And yeah.
And it's nighttime inside a building. Hold on. There is one scene. Swear to God, I've notes. He walks in the room where Billy Baldwin has Katrina. That's the prostitute. I apologize. Sorry, sex worker. Want to be all PC and shit.
Sorry.
Anyway, and he puts on his glasses and he goes, "This is a new Padre." It's like, you were just outside. It's dark outside. It's dark in here. Like, why do you? And he's like, "You got something to say? Like, did anything happen?" Blah, blah. And he goes, "Nothing you want to hear it, boss." He's like, "All right, whatever." No, yeah, I'm with it though. Like, what the hell is with the glasses and inside? It's like, are you a vet? I thought when I first watched this movie, they were going to do a Blade thing where he's half. When I first watched this movie back in '98, like obviously we're watching it now, almost 30 years later. I thought the reason why of the sunglasses is that he had some weird mutation or some shit.
Fair enough.
No, you end up just finding out like his parents were killed by vampires. His dad was turned by a vampire. Then he killed the mom. And then he had to kill his dad. And it was a whole big deal. And so he got orphaned, and the church basically raised him ever since then. So it's like, wow, that's actually pretty compelling for a character arc. So thumbs up on that.
Yeah, it says here on Rotten Tomatoes, ever since his parents were murdered by vampires, Jack Crow, James Woods, has had one purpose in life: putting stakes through the bloodsuckers. And then the first critical consensus says nothing but a showdown after another. And that's what they said about the movie. And I disagree with that. But anyway.
Yeah, there's a lot of driving.
Yeah.
But at least they have good conversations. We were just talking about the fog, how the fog has a lot of driving and it's just a lot of nothing except for a window break. And are you weird? Oh, cool. The last guy wasn't weird. At least this, we have some good conversations between new Padre and James Woods. We have some cool conversations between Katrina and Billy Baldwin's character. You know, there's like a plot arc, and this movie does need some editing. But you're probably going to get that in the bad, so I'll leave that right there. But the driving scenes actually do have something like where she has the link and she goes, "No, turn right here," and they do that, or pull over, and there is a lot of driving here. But I think that's trying to create this Western feel that this movie is going for, because this movie is actually trying to go for what I thought was supposed to be a Western action horror movie. I think it was trying to be a better version of Dusk Till Dawn, but it just kind of wasn't.
Yeah, it almost felt like John was like, you know what? I like that idea, but I think I can do it my way and maybe just a little bit better.
And in ways he did. Like, I think that Dusk Till Dawn, the first half is way better in this movie, but the second half is just like a music video. Whereas this movie is consistently awesome. It does drag a little bit. It could be edited better, but I mean, all in all, I mean, it's really hard to, they're like kind of neck and neck of, pardon the pun, of cool. And also too, I like Katrina's character a lot, and I like Billy Baldwin's character a lot. I like James Woods. When I watch Dusk Till Dawn, it's like, okay, I like Selma Hayek boners, right? RoboCop boners. And then I like, Seth and the Gecko brothers, but
no love for Sex Machine, of course.
I was getting to Sex Machine. I just watched Desperado, and I know where that codpiece came from.
Yep.
But no, it's just not there. And Harvey Keitel sucks in that movie. And when does Harvey Keitel suck in a movie? That's what I'm saying. It's just like, I don't know. Anyway, that's just me though.
Yeah, but the main difference between From Dusk Till Dawn and like John Carpenter's Vampires, John Carpenter did the whole script. With From Dusk Till Dawn, that was a collaboration between Quentin and Robert. And Quentin did the first half of the movie, Robert did the second half of the movie. So you feel that sharp turn, and that's why it gets as crazy as it does at the end, because Robert's like, yeah, I get to kill things. So
Yeah, it was a kind of like Grindhouse, but the original version of Grindhouse, if you will.
Yeah. Kevin, got anything else on the good side for John Carpenter's vampires?
Yeah, the last thing I'll mention is what you mentioned before when they dragged them out of the house into the sun. Excuse me. The intensity of the fire that comes out is amazing. Excuse me. When they burst into flames, it's like flares get lit off out their clothes, and it's just awesome looking.
Yeah, and the exploding carcasses from time to time is pretty rad too.
The blood pool, the fountain, when they I like that a lot too. I mean, there's so much. It's, you know what's funny? This movie is gorier than you think until you rewatch it and you're like, oh shit, this movie's pretty fucking gory, but you don't remember it being that gory.
Right.
But it is very gory because it's vampires. So you're like, oh, okay, well, it's vampires, so it's not that gory. But it's a pretty fucking gory movie. I mean, compared to The Fog, Jesus, we just did The Fog last week. The Fog is rated G compared to this movie. This movie is I'm not gonna say it's RoboCop, but it's almost it's like at least Predator.
OG RoboCop. Because Kevin likes to do RoboCop remakes and Wang pictures.
Like hell. Well, I mean, I made the Wang picture, yes, but
by the way, you guys never did your RoboCop game review. We need to do that together because I'm replaying that game right now, and I really want to know what you guys think about
on that
Rogue
game. I'll
City.
Get going.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, like let's do it.
We both love that freaking game, so
it's so awesome, right? Anyway,
beaten the pants off that game so many times.
I love that game. I love it. It never does.
Well, guys,
are we going to the bad?
Yep, let's do it, baby.
All right, we talked about the good. Now let's see what the bad.
I really want to hear what Kevin here has to say about the bad because I know he's got something snarky.
And he does like this movie, so this is going to be hard for him to admit to.
So, yeah, the bad, same thing as the good. James Woods, like hokey as fuck. So no, all kidding aside, I had a very hard time watching the movie this time around. It was not as good as I remembered it being. It came off campy and cheesier. I was able to notice a lot of the bad editing, like you were talking about, and it wasn't necessarily bad editing. It was the fact that the studio thought it was too violent and had them cut more than what John wanted to cut. And
there was cut stuff then.
Yes, there was a lot more violence.
There was a lot of cut stuff in this. Yeah.
So that would be my first and foremost. Like I couldn't. I had a hard time with it. I was so objectively critiquing this, like the Just for Men hair. I couldn't stop looking at it, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. I couldn't stop joking about it, and I'm just like, oh my god, lame. But I don't know. I had a hard time with it. I didn't dislike it, but golly, back in the day, I would have given this, 9 out of 10 stars. No, I would not anymore.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
It didn't hold up for me.
Can I bounce off you on this? They're trying to be inconspicuous while they're driving like military grade Jeeps with lights all over them and shit, like through the desert.
Oh, like Underworld level?
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, I've watched Underworld 1. I refuse to watch the rest. I just watched it because my ex wanted to watch it and she's an idiot.
Actually, the first 3 are really good. Actually,
she was pretty smart. No way, I dumped her. No, she's stupid. Yeah, she's an idiot. But anyway, no, Underworld 1 is don't get me started. Okay, the Blade Underworld superhero vampire movies. Blade is so good, but the effects are so bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I rewatched Blade this year, and I was like, there's so many great scenes in this movie. Oh, and by the way, to you, Kevin, because I know you always love Batman 89. The plot of Blade is basically Batman 89. It really is. I mean, girl gets attacked, girl gets saved by superhero, girl gets brought to the lair, girl gets shown what's going on, and then things happen. And also, I think it was Jeff that said it should have ended at the time when they were you're right. Both of you were right on that. Blade should have ended that way, and then they should have got more money because the ending of Blade is terrible. But I'm tired of superhero vampire movies. Stop. Vampires are supposed to be monsters.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be, you're not supposed to want to screw them, and you're not supposed to want to beat them. You're supposed to want to fear them. They're supposed to be like zombies and werewolves. It's supposed to be like American Werewolf in London. We love David, but David is an asshole when he happens to be in pooch form. This movie does not. This movie does this well with a vampire. You do not want to be a vampire. When you see our main characters becoming vampires, I think it's sad, but it's good. But I will say, in the bad about this is, yeah, the vehicles, dude, inconspicuous. There's even a part, I have it written down right here, where gas is actually $1.13 a gallon. And he goes, can I borrow, I need to borrow this. And he goes, can I help you, cowboy? And he goes, yeah, I need to borrow your car. And he pulls out the fucking gun. And he goes, I need to buy your fucking car, right? And then he pulls up and he picks up James Woods and Katrina.
Yep.
And they drive off. And he's like, well, we'll get the Jeep. It's like, wait a minute, you just robbed a car, and now you're going to go to the most conspicuous vehicle you can go to. The one that if I was a highway patrol, I'd pull you over in a second and go, hey, what the fuck's going on with the Jeep and the tank and shit? Just saying, we just had a bunch of murders, and you're driving around in a vehicle full with ammunition. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, probably a bad idea. So very unbelievable. Very unbelievable.
We'll save it for the sequel.
The Cetrabellum, the young Vladik picture that they have that's supposed to be painted in the 1300s clearly is a picture they just put some wax on. That maybe because I saw this in 4K, I'm like, wow, that didn't age well. It's a blessing and the curse, but every time James Woods is torturing the new Padre, whether he's cutting, I understand why he's trying to get information out of him, but then he makes boner jokes constantly. And I know that James Woods' character is his way of like dealing with grief, I guess. I don't know. Didn't like that, but I did like it. Sorry, these are mainly quotes that in the bad. Oh, the whole elevator using bait to get them out one by one. That was a bad plan. Why didn't you just burn it down? Vampires don't like fire. This was a very, very long about way. And also, too, you have two people that are already bitten. Why don't you use them to try to coax the vampires out? So that kind of pissed me off a little bit. I'm just like, what?
I had a huge problem with that. That's why I think the ending of this movie is pretty bad.
I'm going to hit mute on my mic. Speak on it, please.
Yeah, like it's just one idiot move after another. It's like, I know this is 90s mentality. Like, we have to find a way to flesh this out so we can build more tension and build to an ultimate climax. No, do the fucking smart thing. Like, try and blow the place up, still get attacked. But one after another is like, you're fishing for a town full of fucking vampires.
16. They say 16 goons.
Yeah.
They say, they say the town is probably like blah, blah, blah. We got 13 goons, one master, plus another 13 coming. And there's 16 if you actually count, because I'm one of those people that count. There's 16 fucking vampires. And there are 4 people. 2 of them are injured. 2 of them are going to be vampires.
Yep.
It's burn the fucking place down. Like, use dynamite, something. Do the Tremors route. Like, smarten up.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, even Edgar and Alan Frog were better vampire. I hate to go back to Lost Boys. They were better vampire hunters than James Woods was with their squirt guns of holy water.
That was cool.
It was cool. And they had their bikes.
Oh yeah. No, the ending of the movie doesn't work for me. That's one of my big ultimate complaints. And then
We're
you're
not
gonna
the
let
end
your
yet.
buddy just stroll off as a vampire? Oh, you gave me 2 days
Oh,
of
no.
keeping your word. No, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes before I put a cap in your
No,
ass.
we're not at the end yet. I have notes for that. We're just at the
yeah.
pre-climax.
It's just to accentuate my quick point on the last act of this movie just completely implodes upon itself on the good work of the first two. The dialogue at times is pretty sketchy. It feels like it's a little too cute with the quips at times. And my big bad, I know you guys like Baldwin. I don't. He hits like his brother.
At least you didn't say shoots.
I was mindful of that. But when he backhanded her, I'm like, ooh, that's not a good look, guys.
It's like I don't even have to act.
I just built a bitch. Jesus.
By the way, how hot is Katrina though?
Fairly, yes.
Cheeky.
Yeah,
I think so. I mean,
she didn't
I
show
know,
boobs.
I
There
know,
was nudity in the movie, but she did not. She just showed butt. That's all.
Kevin is my boobs and butt guy. I know, like when I was
Kevin.
watching this, I was going, oh, Kevin's gonna love this part. I even wrote it down. Kevin's gonna love this part when she's tied down, face down in the bed, and he goes, "Snap your neck," and I'm like, oh, Kevin's got a boner.
Yeah, right. Like, can we just pause
mahogany on that one?
Pause this image, and we'll just
Ash Teak
put it up on the wall.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you're the guy who controlled the slides. Maybe you should have done. Oh, we've got to pull from YouTube in a second, though.
Yeah,
yeah. We've had to watch ourselves a few times.
So, okay. Sorry.
I was gonna say I learned from RoboCop to not
RoboWang,
not to tempt YouTube.
Well, as long as it's like past 15 minutes, they usually don't care. Your fault was you did it right in the beginning. I think we're fine on this one. But the burger scene, yeah, they only watched for 15 minutes. I know this for a fact. Because I've gotten flagged. So cool. I gotten flagged so many times. I think my favorite scene in this movie is actually the character development between Baldwin and her. And James Woods calling on the phone and he brings back burgers. He's trying to make her eat. He goes, you got to eat to stop the virus. And he's trying to explain what it is. Is it a virus? Is it a curse? Blah, blah. It was so good. And then she goes to commit suicide. He throws her through and I just thought that like, this wasn't needed. I mean, obviously this is why he gets bit on the arm, but this scene could have been edited better and made it more cohesive to the love story. Because it seems like there was a love story here, but every time it starts developing any traction, they just shit on it.
I'd agree with that.
And I hate that because, I mean, it's supposed to be, I think it's the id and the ego, right? So the id is supposed to be Baldwin and the ego is supposed to be, Jack Crow. And it's supposed to be their tag team because one of them is sympathetic and ruthless and one of them is emotional and secure, but yet, very, very self-defensive. And and they work so well together. And just like what you were saying at the end of the movie where he goes, wherever you go, I'll hunt you down. By the way, did you notice that is exactly what he said to one of the hookers? Wherever you go, I'll hunt you down. Da, 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 da. He actually says the same creed. And speaking of Creed, another thing I hate about this movie is the big heel turn from the Cardinal. He actually quotes Anne Rice. I don't know if you guys noticed this.
I did not catch that. I'm not an Anne Rice fan. I haven't read too much. So
again, I was a super goth kid, still am, but not as much as I was. But he goes, I have not witnessed a miracle or received any visions of the afterlife. That is the vampire Armand's line to Louis in Interview with the Vampire. I have not seen any visions nor witnessed any miracles that will save or damn my soul. He says the exact same fucking thing verbatim.
Wow. And she never sued.
I mean, she's passed away now.
It's
But,
like the YouTube algorithm. They just slipped it right through.
dude,
Fair enough.
you can't F with me with vampire movies because they all suck, pun intended. But I've watched them all. Like any vampire movie that came out in the 80s or 90s, I watched them all. Even Innocent Blood. And don't even get me started on that one.
Oh shit! I never saw that.
forgot about that one.
I love the box.
You guys all forgot about that until I brought it up, didn't you?
I have seen that one before, and I was like, I really like vampire movies. I wouldn't say I'm a vampire nut. And Innocent Blood was like one of those. I don't think this kind of movie is for me, and that's probably what led to me not liking things like Twilight and whatnot. But oh yeah, you were asking about rankings of vampire movies, and I could always save it for later. But I'll put this like within the top 10.
I say this is my top 10 too.
Yeah, agreed. It's not too cheesy. It's extremely violent, and they're portrayed as animals rather than, you know, they're not like Louis. They're not pining for the life that they left behind or mourning themselves forever and ever. Like, no, they're just there to eat.
So I got some more nerd shit here because we all know that John Carpenter is a huge nerd. Did you know he's a tabletop game nerd as well?
No.
I thought I heard that. but I
So
did not know
there was a game us goth kids used to play back in the 90s called Vampire Masquerade. Have you guys ever heard of it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so these vampires are actually based off the Gangrel clan. So the Gangrel clan, there's also a pro wrestler named Vampire Warrior who changed his name to Gangrel, and he had Edge and Christian with him in the Attitude Era. Do you remember that?
The
I do.
The Brood,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
exactly. So the Gangrel clan are the only clan of the vampires that can actually change their claws into like wolf claws, and they actually don't sleep in coffins. They sleep in the earth and pop out. And they also have like strange colored eyes, and the older they get, the weirder they look. This is actually based off that. It was later an Obsidian game. Obsidian was bought out by Bethesda later, called Vampire Bloodlines. And Mr. Our great John Carpenter actually was a fan of this game, and he based a lot of the lore off this. And so and they were supposed to be nomads. They didn't have castles, and that's why they live in the earth. So there you go. There's some fun nerdy facts for you.
Well, I actually really did like that aspect of this movie, is them coming out of the ground, like just being just deep enough.
Yeah.
And like, because that's how basically the movie started. Like, hey, we can't find the master anywhere. Where's the master? And then you see like this kind of ground level dirt. It's like, oh,
We see the hand pop up,
interesting.
and we're like, we get like the Freddy glove or whatever,
Like,
coming
we
out.
get it at the beginning of the movie instead of at the end of the movie. So I really appreciated that. That was actually a really nice change of pace, because I completely forgot about that. So watching this again, I was like, oh, there's a lot I don't remember about this movie. And then there's the stuff I do remember about the movie, which keeps rearing its ugly head, the name of Baldwin in the third act.
So the last showdown, if you will, where James was being crucified, Jack Crow rather, and we see Claudia now. She's now the witch of the devil, right? And she's a vampire. She bites Baldwin's neck, and Baldwin shoots the gun and cauterizes it, even though that's not how that works.
That was funny.
It was. If you guys ever play with guns, that's not how guns work. Okay, they don't get that hot. Anyway, and then he shoots the priest is on the roof, and he's like, Vladek, you can't have anyone like do the duh. And he's got a gun to his head, and he's all Jerry Seinfeld. And then Vladek's like, give me the cross. And oh my god, it's such the Castlevania boss battle at the end too, where all you got to do is break the sun. It's so the bad is that it's. Oh my god, I hated the ending of this movie. It could have been done so much better. I did like Billy Baldwin and him squaring off, going, I will track you down and everything. But the last scene of the movie sucks, like you were saying. The first two acts of this movie are so goddamn good. Could be edited better. It could have been edited a lot better. And then you could have probably cut out the whole elevator scene thing. That was dumb. it could have get anyway. I don't know. I don't think I have any more to say, because if I'm going to trash it more, I'm going to lower my score.
Kevin, you got anything else for the bad?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about judging this then.
All right. This was my favorite scene in the whole fucking movie. Bobby getting split in half. Like, it sold me, like, and owned me at this point, from this point forward. And again, I didn't dislike the movie this time around. I just didn't enjoy it nearly as much as I used to.
Right.
But I still break for this scene. Like, this is the reason for me to watch the movie.
Where would you rank this for Carpenter films and then as a vampire film?
All right. So, you know what? For a Carpenter film, oh golly, I'd put it below Escape from LA and In the Mouth of Madness.
Still haven't seen both those. I know.
Escape from LA is a lot of fun.
By comparison to the first one, it's not great, but it's a lot of fun regardless of its stupidity.
Okay, then I must see it.
I'm sorry, I meant Escape from New York, not LA. I've never seen Escape from LA. I've seen like 2 minutes of it at best.
Yet it's got Bruce Kimball in it.
And that was not the 2 minutes that I got to see. I saw Steve Buscemi and like windsurfing.
That's what I saw in the preview, and I'm like, fuck this.
Hey, if people want to see Escape from LA from us this year, we've got to send in some comments or some super chats.
I've never seen it. If you would invite me on a guest, I swear to God, I'll come back with 7 pages of notes.
Sweet. We'll do it. Sorry, Kevin.
So I'm going to say, yeah, this is going to be towards the tail end for me for John Carpenter movies. Like, it's not one of his best films, but it's certainly not his worst film either. But this would be where, yes, it's next is Ghosts of Mars, where things start going downhill. I would say that really started for me with Prince of Darkness, this, and then I wouldn't go eventually see Ghosts of Mars. So I don't know. I don't know. Overall, I would have dropped my score down from a 9 to a 5. So it did not hold up well for me. It was too edited, too chopped up, and there was so much more that they could have done. I wasn't satisfied this time around.
Ouch. Well, that's fair. How about you, Zach?
Okay, I'm giving this a 76 on the Evergreen Tomato scale. The audience gave it on Rotten Tomatoes a 44. Oh, no, sorry. The critics gave it a 44 and the audience gave it a 47. I think that's not fair. I think it's a 74. Here's why. The effects are great. The characters are great. The dialogue is great. The editing and the story needs... It's like there's a lot of side adventures. It's kind of like you're playing Skyrim and you get caught off on all these side quests and you're like, but if you just stick to the main story would be great. As far as vampire movies, it's in my top 10, probably around 7. Like I said, it's probably right there around Light Force and Dusk Till Dawn. And Carpenter movies, I would say it's probably at that 50-50 level when he started to suck. Or it's not in the top of the Carpenter. Carpenter's made so much great stuff. This one is just great for what it is, but with the name John Carpenter's Vampires, I expected more. That's just me. I gotta piss. I'll be right back.
Yep.
Do it.
You go. You do it, buddy. You can do it. Well, for me,
got an empty bottle.
Not live on stream, Kevin.
Oh,
we know you just got unstuck from Saturday. Like, we'll save that for the coming Saturday here. But for me, I didn't like this movie when it first came out. I actually would, back then, I gave this I'd probably say it'd probably be about a 3 out of 10 because I just didn't like it. Like it didn't click with me, it didn't work with me. There were some things I enjoyed about it. It had moments, but watching it a second time, I am going to raise my score because ultimately this is a fun movie. But
Yeah.
it's got editing problems. It's got some script issues. Like clearly it's been hit by the producers, the studio, and even John. And the finished product just doesn't turn out as well as like Zach was just mentioning. Like this kind of feels like a John Carpenter movie, but it also doesn't at the same time. But it does have a fantastic score. And I do end up liking James Wood in this movie. Just he's kind of hit or miss for most of the movie for me. Mostly hit. Like I would go about 7 out of 10 just on his performance. He's done better, but he's also done worse. He's a total pro, and I ain't hating on nothing here. It's just how I feel about this particular character and this particular movie, how everything fit and flows together. Me, I'm gonna probably give this about a. Let's see, if I was gonna watch it brand new today, I'd probably go about 7. So I'm gonna go the average between 3 and 7. So it's gonna be, what is that? 10. That's gonna be 5. So I'm gonna go 50-50 on this one. And honestly, I don't regret watching it. I did have a fun time talking about it with my 2 buddies here. And as far as a vampire movie, definitely a top 10 movie because we haven't had that many awesome vampire movies the last few years. But you can add Blade to it. You can add 30 Days of Night to it. You could add Kindred the Embrace to it, a miniseries.
Let the right one in.
You know, Nosferatu, which I don't know how you feel about that one, Zach, but I loved the new one from Robert Eggers. But the original is the best one.
Okay, real quick. Nosferatu, the remake, is one of the best movies I've ever seen that I never want to see again.
Watch it once and you're good, huh?
It's one of those things where it's so beautifully shot and the acting is so fucking good in that movie. But it was so me and my wife saw it and we're like, we're not having sex for like a week, right? It's like it's so disgusting.
Yeah.
But the acting is great. And like I'm with you. I think Nosferatu, the original, is better. In fact, when my band Heaven's Heels used to play, we always used to play a projector, and we'd have Nosferatu, the old school, playing in the background.
Yeah.
And I do really like the new Nosferatu, but like it's one of those movies. I'm telling you, it's just like The Lighthouse, or that director just has this effect on me where it's like he's kind of like Fincher, but grosser. You know, like Fincher has this thing. Vindenhoven has this thing on, you know, that I love, but then certain directors have this thing that I see and I'm like, I love you, but I'm good. I'm good. Like,
it's like me with some Cronenberg movies, like Videodrome is like one I'll watch once, and that's a James Wood movie too. But I'm good just watching that one once. I never really want to watch that one again.
I'm guilty of the fact that I've only seen that movie once, and I was under the age of 10. I need to really rewatch that movie.
I watched that in college, and that was fine in and of itself. I have no intention to go back to it, but it was a good movie. But we all have a movie like that where it's like, I don't want to ruin
being film.
Yeah. I don't want
Dead
to
Girl.
ruin it.
Dead Girl.
Yeah.
You guys ever seen Dead Girl, have you?
No.
Oh man, I have the top movies you should never watch, but I've watched them because people, you know.
Yeah.
We have our Patreon, and Serbian film Dead Girl, Human Centipede 2 and 3, not number 1. Number 1's tame. 2 and 3, those are the ones you don't want to watch. The 3 is actually just a comedy. Yeah, I have the list of movies you should never watch, so I watch them for you and just kind of describe them. You can find that all on patreon.com/nightpartypod, by the way.
Well, and while we're at it, you want to tell everybody where they can find you and what you got coming up next?
Oh my God, thank you so much. So yeah, I am Zach Evergreen, and you could find me at Father Heel on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter. Heel spelled like your foot. I am at patreon.com/knifepartypod. I am also at knifepartypod@yahoo.com. I answer every freaking email there. On our Patreon, I have 4 shows. I have not only Knife Party, I also have Midnight Ramen. That is our gamer show, our live music show, our tabletop show. We talk everything nerdy, whether it be collecting VHSs, toys, or little miniature figures to roll D20s with, right? We also have Knife Party. That's when the lights are off and the mics are on, and usually it means we've just been smoking too much weed. Kev, you would like that show. You would actually really be good on the show. And we also have our X show, which is called Slime Wreck Radio X, and that's where we just go over clips, and it's kind of my therapy. I just talk about whatever. We have sweet merchandise coming out all the time, and sorry for plugging, but you're going to be on my show as well. Throw out your plugs, guys.
Yeah, Kevin.
What am I telling people what we're going to be working on? Is that
Oh, no. I'm saying throw out your plugs, and then we could talk about what we're working on afterward. But people are going to be I do have 5,080 listeners, and I know that's little, but it's still something. And they're going to want to hear about where we could find Suns and Shadows and 0 Point reviews, because I love it. You guys love RoboCop. I love RoboCop. Everyone loves RoboCop. So let's talk about where we can find you guys.
I'll buy that for $1.
Damn, Skippy. You could find us here on the Suns and Shadows YouTube channel every Tuesday for 0 Point reviews, every other Friday for Nostalgia TV, and every Saturday night for Deadwire Live. And our newest show is every Thursday night, Jeff?
Yep, Stargate Files.
Stargate Files, every Thursday night.
Yep, and you can find Kevin on X at KCS Kevin Smith. You can find me at Suns and Shadows on X. We're also on Facebook. We're on Instagram. For Instagram, you got to add word cast to the end of Suns and Shadows, because somebody had already parked Suns and Shadows on there. So,
and you guys got to remember, when you follow these guys on YouTube, you got to smash that like button, but do
subscribe.
And you got to hit the bell so you know when they have a new video. And you got to give a thumbs up to every video. Even if you only watch like 5 minutes of it, it helps them out. It really does.
And then throw us a comment.
Yeah, and throw a comment in. Here's another thing. So I know I was working with you guys separately. I'm not trying to break up the band or anything. I'm not trying to be the Yoko Ono.
You gave me an out.
But I would like to do Wolf Creek with Kev over here, and I would like to do Reign of Fire with Jeff over here. So we've been talking about that. Hopefully we'll get that on. I'm doing my El Mariachi series with Antonius Montana, and hopefully we'll get that done. And if you guys want to continue to have me on the show, I'd love to be a part of it. I would like to be a unpaid regular, if you will, but that's up to you guys. I know I tend to dominate the show, and I apologize for that. That's just kind of the way I am.
I'll bowl in a China shot.
Hey, man, what you gonna do? I love movies. I love talking to people that love movies. We all like
wrong with that. It's all good.
And it's weird. It's weird being the youngest guy in this group too, because I mean, like, I'm used to people being
the gray is showing through.
Oh, dude, I got tons of gray. You don't even know. Like, I have a full beard. You just can't even tell it's all gray. It's because the rosacea covers it up. No, it's awesome to talk to people born under the year or around the year 1980 about movies, when normally I'm talking, my guests are like born in the 90s, and I'm like, you've never seen House? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I mentioned that on another stream in the chat, and somebody was like, House? What the hell is that? I'm like, oh dear God.
Dude, one of the greatest movies. When you guys, your House review, I was listening to it in my headphones, and I was laying in bed. It was 2 a.m, and I could not stop laughing. I had to get up because my wife was doing that shut up elbow.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to finish this episode. It's so good. You guys have a kick-ass podcast. And by the way, I listen to you guys on Podbean. You guys have a bunch of cool episodes up there. I do recommend the Podbean.
That's why you don't see the older episodes. Podbean clips off the older ones once you hit a certain number of episodes or age.
I could teach you how to get around that, but anyway. Okay. By the way, I am planning something. So big news. I'm doing a big WrestleMania watch along / review. If you guys want to join in, it's up to you. I know you guys are marks. You guys are wrestling marks. Are you not?
I watch. I'll be the rebel here. I predominantly watch AEW. I do watch a little WWE from time to time. I don't watch TNA. I watch New Japan instead, and I will sometimes watch the little leaguers like MLW.
Well, you know, the only reason why I went
Revolver.
Knife Party is the only reason I went Knife Party is Bullet Club was taken.
Mm.
No. But anyway, I'm gonna do a full review of that. If you guys want to jump in on that, I'd love to have you on. But I don't know if you guys want to have me next Tuesday. Cool. If not, like I'll see you guys down the road. I'm sure we'll meet up. I had a lot of fun. This was awesome. Thank you guys very much. And I got an excuse to watch John Carpenter's Vampires. I haven't seen this movie in 20 years, man.
Same here. So thanks, Kevin. He's the one out of the bunch who's like, oh man, this is not as good as I remember. And we're like,
what are you planning on doing next? Just
we're actually having to tweak our schedule a little bit. We had some scheduling conflicts with some guests coming up in April, so things are kind of moving around. But overall theme is it's animation month, so we're going to be doing animated movies.
Okay, I will tell you this: if you guys do Macross Plus, I'm the guy. Besides that, I know nothing about animated except for Macross Plus and Transformers 86. That's about it.
Well, the movies we have guests kind of tentatively scheduled for is Ninja Scroll and Secret of Nim. Beyond that, Princess Mononoke, Perfect Blue, and the 80s heavy metal.
Okay, I know a couple of those, but you know, you guys do you, and when you want me back on, just let me know. I do love Secret of Nim. It ruined my childhood. That owl scared the shit out of me. And I think I knew that my you know, Wang Dang worked when I actually saw heavy metal for the first time. So I mean, those are two movies. But hey, whenever you guys need me, I'm here. Just you know, hit me up at Father Heel and the little DM thing. Hit me up on your DMs, guys. All right. Anyway, hey, before I go, can I play one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Catherine Isabel, and you're listening to the Knife Party podcast. I hope you enjoy it, because I don't.
Nice.
Dude,
Anybody
I
got-
should play some of our Dana clips when we had her on for an interview, and she was screaming at me, "You're saying my name wrong, Jeff."
I don't know.
What?
Oh, by the way, Catherine Isabel, if you're out there, 707-373-0560. One day she will call. Now I get tons of scam calls, but one day, Catherine Isabel, we're going to do American Mary, her and I. We're going to sit down. It's going to be
We should do
amazing.
Ginger snaps, and well, we did Hannibal, the TV show with Mads Mikkelsen and Hugh Dancy, and she was in that for 2 seasons. So
You know, she dies in every movie, right?
she's got the Sean Bean clause.
Except for one movie. And if you guys can guess it, but I'm not going to give it away. That's my little secret. I'm going to take home with me.
Good man.
Yeah.
man.
Usually I throw clips out there, but we're going to say goodnight to everybody. So thank you everybody for tuning in to 0 Point Reviews on the Suns and Shadows Network. We had Zach with us of the Night Party Podcast. Please go check him out and make sure you hit the like button on the way out. Hit the little bell notification when you subscribe. And we're going to be rating another stream for a gentleman called Nerd Wars. Please say hello, drop a line, and let him know we sent you. So everybody, you have a good night. And Zach, you got anything else before we click out?
Be ethical to each other. And if, you know, be kind, rewind. Very important.
Too true. Too true.